Welcome in to yet another rousing edition of the Mike and Molson Too Good for Radio podcast.
Rousing, say you.
Yes, I say rousing. This one I feel will be dutying on a mammal-free.
I'm sorry, what?
Dutying on a mammal-free.
Dutying on a mammal-free.
I didn't want to drop the F-bombs right away.
You know what? I need to apologize.
No,
it was harrowing. It was harrowing. I don't usually, even in real life, I'm not even much of a swearer. But
that's why it's too good for radio.
If you miss some good Johnny Molson cursing, which happens very infrequently.
It's so interesting. I actually remember, if those who are listening recall when we were actually on the radio. Now we're too good for it. There was a caller, Patty, and I ran into her recently when we first started up this podcast months ago.
Sure.
And she had mentioned that she would like to hear you swear a little bit more. That's one she would like to. So hopefully she enjoyed the F-bomb, because there may be another one later on in this program.
Well, this one's for you, Patty, you bitch.
Love it. We're off to a rousing start, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, we have some Ask Reddit questions we'll get to. But we begin. You've been doing a lot of traveling as of late for your other gigs. And so in a recent study of 1,000 Americans, they have a new poll, and they go over some of the acceptable and unacceptable behavior on an airplane.
Yeah.
So I like to go through some of the numbers, and you being more of a traveler than myself, say yay or nay if you agree with the majority or whatever it may be.
And there's no question now that people are feeling better about getting out.
Yes.
There is just pent up, I need to go somewhere in the planet, someplace. And so it's bananas. The airports are bananas right now.
They are right now. So we'll begin in this particular poll, and I find this number really, really high. It's ridiculously high. 94% of people in this poll, now remember it's just 1,000 Americans, but feel it's acceptable to bring smelly food onto an airplane. No.
Wow, that's really selfish.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
94% say, I'm going to bring my fajitas from Chili's onto this plane and stink you out for the majority of the rest. How are 9 out of 10 people cool with being like, I don't care who I sit by, I'm bringing this stank-ass food on this plane?
I got some Mike and Ike's the other day, and I felt weird munching on them sitting next to somebody. Just like, because...
The only thing I feel acceptable to eat on a plane, and this is just maybe me, is the little snack bag that they give you on the plane. That's the only acceptable thing. I don't think it's cool to bring in your bagel sandwich, or because there's always those people that you see that bring in the entire case in point. There was a gentleman that when we flew to Las Vegas, we're in the St. Louis airport, and this is 6 a.m, had a giant ass pizza box.
Wow.
I don't know what was in it. All right. We get to Denver. He is then on the same... He's still carrying around that pizza box.
No kidding.
I don't know if he was transporting it to people in Vegas. Like, he had the crap-ass Emo's Pizza, and he's like, I can't get this type of pizza in Vegas. Good, because it's terrible. No one needs that type of pizza.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's acceptable to bring smelly food.
No, it isn't. I mean, you really have to be aware. Yeah, I was... somebody just had enchiladas on the last flight that I was on. And I think... If you're going to bring food on, it needs to be something you can handle with your hands.
Correct.
I mean, if you've got to bust out a fork and a knife and a bib and a plate it's just...
If you got to crack the knuckles of a lobster, should not be on the flight.
If you want to get one of those, cheese and ham sandwiches they sell in the refrigerator, whatever, that's fine. But
I don't even think a salad is acceptable. Yeah. 9 and 10 still say, though, it's a no-no to take off your shoes and socks while flying.
Yes,
well, thank God. They're okay with smelly food, but not smelly feet. 59% have no problems wearing their pajamas on a flight.
I can't do that. Even when
comfortable, yes, but
have you ever been in one of those hotels where you go down for their buffet breakfast and people are in their pajamas? It's like, have you no dignity?
At least throw on some shorts and a shirt, something like that. PJ, the people walking around like it's their
like
kitchen.
They're in their kitchen.
Yeah, they're sitting there at the waffle machine.
Do that.
Hey, just making my waffle. I can't either.
Yeah,
I definitely couldn't fly in PJs.
Hair's going all in 10 different directions, and their breath smells, and they're scratching their butt.
Teeth.
It's just like...
Here's one that I think you're going to disagree with as it pertains to small talk. 2 in 3 people think it's okay to start a conversation with someone sitting next to them on a plane. 2 out of 3 say,
no kidding.
Okay, now I'm an over talker, right? Obviously, I'm fully admit. But on a plane, if it's me and my wife, I am not going to engage with you right away. I actually wait for someone else to engage with me on an airplane if I'm flying with my wife. Because I know, much like you, not that she doesn't want to be bothered, but I already have someone I'm talking to. I don't need a third wheel in a conversation because, to your point, when you open that up, it may be another 3 hours of conversation you don't want.
Correct.
So,
and I believe, first of all, 2 and 3 explains a lot. That's why people do it so often, apparently. The other thing I feel is that conversation on an airplane needs to be library quiet.
yes.
For some reason, and most people abide by this, usually it's pretty, but there's always a guy about 7 rows back, and for some reason he's got a frequency in his voice that sort of pierces through the engine, and there's nothing else going on, but you hear a guy weighing back saying,
Yeah, so when I got to Santa Monica the other day, my luggage wasn't quite there yet, but that's all right. They had a really good place where we could go and have a margarita, so I sat down and did that thing.
and it's all you can hear.
I only laughing so much because you're correct. It's either male or female, and it's always usually, to your point, yeah, we got delayed back in San Antonio, so I had to call I had to call my sister to go look on the cat, and she said the cat had vomited, and I couldn't believe it, and I was like, well, you better take the cat to the vet.
And it's not that they're yelling, it's just that their voice is in that perfect range that just completely cuts through everything else.
Yeah.
And so they could just be talking at a normal register, but for some reason it goes right down the tube, and it's just always...
Right, that was I saying to the guy. So when we got in the meeting, and there's one person was checking her phone the whole time, and I just have no time for that.
Can you believe the dog ended up pooping in our bed? Was she not getting over there in time? Yeah, and the other thing that sometimes is a phenomenon to me that I've never reached, like I've had amenable conversations with individuals, but the people who become best friends on planes, right? That it's like they, as they're walking off, like, well, you enjoy the rest of your trip, and it's like, how do you become that good of friends with someone in 3 hours?
It's remarkable. It's
a gift. When it comes to reclining airline seats, survey finds most Americans still think of their neighbors first before spreading out. In the poll, just 38% think it's okay to recline the seat on a long flight of more than 4 hours. More than half believe it's okay as long as they ask the person behind them first.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to ask first. I have never reclined a seat on an airplane yet in all my flights.
I'll give it about maybe a 4 or 5 degree tilt. That's about as far back as I'll go.
Yeah.
But you're right. Yeah, the people who just, you get to that cruising altitude and all of a sudden, shugunk, the tray comes into your stomach.
You're like, no thanks.
Yeah, it's like, dude.
As for seating assignments, nearly 4 in 5 think it's acceptable to ask someone to swap seats. However, if you draw the middle seat on a crowded flight, don't expect much sympathy from your neighbors because only 1 in 3 believe the person in the middle seat deserves to have both armrests.
Wow. You got to give the person in the middle seat.
I'm always middle seat guy.
Yeah.
When I fly with my wife, because we usually fly Southwest, and that's choose your own seat. My wife always likes the window, which is fine. I don't care. I'm always middle seat guy, and I'm very conscientious. I usually, and I don't know why, I usually give aisle seat individual, whoever it is. That's always fraught with peril too. I always feel like you kind of stare and you're looking, you're like, don't sit by us, don't sit by us, don't sit by us, don't sit by us. And then inevitably, we get okay. It's been okay, but I always give that person both armrests because they're a single. I can lean in to my wife. I don't need to spread out.
Most people can't lean in on the person. I mean,
right, exactly.
So you've got an extra thing. But you're right. And I think I feel so bad for the person in the middle because that is a suck seat in a lot of situations. It's like, take whatever you want, man.
Yeah, exactly. You're not getting the joy of the window. Yeah. You're not getting to kind of spread out a little bit in the aisle. You're stuck between two people.
Get up.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not good. So those are some of the things from that particular airline survey. But I still can't believe 9 out of 10 people think smelly food is okay. Take your smelly food and eat it in the terminal. And wear some clothes. Be a decent human. Don't be wearing PJs.
The get up when the plane stops thing is really incredible to me. I mean, I understand getting up because you're cramped and you just want to stretch, but you're not. You're not going anywhere. It's still going to be a good 5 minutes before they bring the thing over and they open the door and they do it and the thing. And it's just take it easy. You'll get off. They're not gonna leave you there.
The people that get it's always that same guy too. Can you believe this?
Yeah.
I'm ready to roll out. What is going on here? Just relax. We're all going to get where we need to be.
Yeah.
Because even if everything plays out in your mind, right? What are those 3 minutes more of vacation or whatever you're going to do make your journey that much markedly better than the rest of us who are just having patience?
It's not.
Moving on, we have, I believe this is a listener's
Thank you for that gripe session, though. That was fun.
No, that was fun. A listener's court, I know you can kind of judge it as we go along here with this one. You don't get to interact with us. Maybe in the comments, whatever you want to do. But this story here, I felt needed to be discussed. This comes to us via TikTok, where in a film stunt by Harrison Pollock, he uploaded in June on his Life of Harrison TikTok account, which riveting stuff, I'm sure. In this particular video, this TikTok, he approaches an older woman sitting in a mall food court and asks her to hold a bouquet of flowers. Then after putting on his jacket, he simply says, "Have a lovely day," and walks away, leaving the woman holding the flowers. So, in his mind, I have just given this lonely old lady who's sitting in a food court a bouquet of flowers. What lonely old woman wouldn't love a bouquet of flowers?
This will make for some sweet views.
Yeah. So, he posted the video after the encounter with the caption, "I hope this made her day better," as well as the hashtags, #ForYou and #Wholesome. The video has been seen by more than 59 million views and received 11.2 million likes. Now, the woman who ID'd herself as Marie from Melbourne, Australia, confirms this was not as wholesome as one would think. She tells ABC Australia she didn't appreciate being part of his allegedly altruistic antics. She said, quote, "He interrupted my quiet time, filmed and uploaded a video without my consent, turning it into something it wasn't, and I feel like he's making quite a lot of money through it." She adds that when she noticed some other people standing a few feet away filming the whole thing, she asked if she was being recorded, and they answered no.
Oh, really?
Later on, when she caught wind of the video going viral, she said she was upset by how it was being framed, basically showing her as supposedly weepy old woman in a heartbreaking tale, according to one tabloid. She went on to say, "At first, it was just a bit of a joke to me, but then I felt dehumanized. I feel like clickbait." So I asked you, Johnny Molson, and those listening at home, where do you fall on this? Do you feel she has a legit gripe? Or do you feel and that he took advantage of her old Life of Harrison? Or where do you fall on this whole thing?
Look, you can see people TikToking out in the wild every day of the week. There's always somebody setting up their camera and they're wiggling their butt or doing something. Whatever. But, man, you start drawing other people into it just because.
Right. I agree. I mean, this isn't as bad as some others may be of the TikTokers in the wild who start, dancing around somebody who unwittingly is in the video. The fact that they didn't tell her that she was being recorded, I don't agree with. But to say you're dehumanized and used as maybe clickbait, I get, right? 59 million, he's portraying he's doing something nice, which apparently she did not agree was nice. But I think a bouquet, she could have thrown it away. I don't know if I would go that she's been dehumanized in this particular situation.
No, but it certainly tells you a lot about the TikTok environment where you watch this video saying, "Lonely woman, I just gave her flowers. Let's watch her reaction.
Let's brighten her day."
Meanwhile, she's just a lady sitting there minding her own business.
I did love that he interrupted my quiet time.
Yeah. And so now she's got a caption under her saying, pathetic old cretin with nobody to love her.
That
sucks.
I didn't think about that portion of it, right? And that's the seedy underbelly of all TikTok, whatever social media it may be, YouTube or whatnot. Even the most innocent, nicest video inevitably turns into something along the lines of people And so you make a valid point of how many of those likes or whatever or comments then turn into this sad, lonely old lady didn't deserve flowers. Or
is her name Gladys? I bet she's Gladys.
No, Marie was her name. Maree.
Right.
Now, a statement from old Life of Harrison spokesperson. He has a spokesperson? Good, sweet criminetly. Says he felt inspired to start doing kind acts after witnessing homelessness in L.A., and that he often offers followers and pays for complete strangers' groceries. Well, that's one thing. Just dumping flowers on some old lady at her table is a completely different thing. He said, while cynics may claim it's for views, Harrison simply has a personal commitment to helping people feel more connected and trusting. He only has so far encountered gratitude, not like Marie, who says she's been dehumanized by all of this.
Go get a job, Harrison.
Yeah, and by the way, come up with a better name for your stupid channel at Life of Harrison.
No. We think we're so interesting.
We do.
I don't even like doing this podcast for that reason. It's like, no, who cares what we think?
Well, I like doing it because we crap on not only bats, but other people and their ambitions in the world.
Right.
So that's why I enjoy doing this podcast. But you're right. We all think YouTube is just a gate, just flooded with individuals who think it's just as easy as opening up a camera and saying, hey, world, I'm a star.
And there's like 3 dozen or so of people who are doing some really cool things on YouTube, and I'll follow them and watch their shows and everything. And the rest of it is garbage.
Yes. Shout out quickly to one who does a great job. my buddy Nate at Paging Mr. Morrow.
That's right. Be sure to like and subscribe.
Exactly.
And comment, let him know. Give him a 4-star review.
Exactly. He is, positivity. But he's an engaging dude. But you're right. There's a majority of it is just awash with
and
crap.
Get 10% off Peloton if you go like and subscribe right now.
Like and subscribe to
the link is in links below in the description.
We're actually working on a Twitch feed, man, at Life of Mike and Molson.
Join our Discord channel.
Exactly. Don't forget to Patreon. So even if it's just $1,
right.
Whatever you can subscribe, really help out this channel.
$3 a month, and you'll hear Molson swear for 30 minutes.
Just nothing but F-bombs.
Turn the air blue.
It's a new Mike and Molson fuck podcast. We will start it up for a little, just $3. Just nothing but us using that F word for no reason, just throwing it into things for no reason whatsoever in the new Mike and Molson podcast. Just Love Patreon. Patreon only for $3. Speaking of the F word, here is something from Ask Reddit saying if you could put one F-bomb into a Disney movie, where does it go?
Oh, yeah. It's Bambi.
It's Bambi.
Right.
The first.
Soon as she gets shot.
Bambi. I thought that's a good one
in slow motion. You know, little paws are flying up in the air, and her head snaps backwards.
That beats mine. Mine was going to be Toy Story, where Woody just says, "You're a fucking toy. You're not a real space ranger. You're a fucking toy.
Right.
Deal with it." Those are 2 great ones. I like that. Or
Buzz Lightyear shoots him right in the arm.
I love how yours are all real
slow
dark.
Motion, yeah.
Yours all are real dark. I'm trying to think of some other ones. To your point, I think one be like at the end of Cinderella. Fuck you, bitches! Right. I'm going to the castle. That'd be another good one. I like those.
Yeah, I could see the dad in Finding Nemo, like finally just flipping on Dory. It's like,
what the is your
would
deal?
You get your effing life together?
I love how we edited ourselves. We've met the quotient. We don't. Now it's just being.
I feel bad. After a while.
Exactly. After a while,
it's
I feel
Dory.
bad.
I can't yell at Dory.
Yeah, who can yell at Dory? Seriously, no one can yell at Dory.
And then a swordfish stabs her in the side.
She talks whale. What the fuck are you doing? I think we made a lot of them much better.
Right. I think so too.
A lot of those Disney movies. I'm trying to think of like some of the older ones because inevitably in Disney, a parent dies, right away. So I'm trying to think of like if Moana could use one or some of the other ones that throughout the years that could use. But I like yours the best. The Bambi one is pretty fantastic. Moving on, Mike and Molson, bing, 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 hot take alert. Here's an Ask Reddit question. What artificial flavor tastes better than the original? I'm going to say orange. Mm-hmm. I think an orange soda, orange popsicle. have a much better flavor than an actual orange. An actual orange, not as good as orange flavoring.
I'll go with you on that.
An orange crush, an orange sun-kissed, delicious. An orange, when you bite into, you go, I want the fake orange.
It's actually made oranges not enjoyable. You're right.
Right, exactly. You're like, this isn't real orange. Give me a crush.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking something, like wild cherry or something that doesn't even exist in nature.
Strawberry for me, I don't know.
Strawberry's never right.
I used to be. I don't know
what that is.
I used to be very much strawberry artificial better than strawberries because I wasn't a big fan of eating strawberries. Over the years, I've had a taste for strawberries, and now I can't go back. Like, it's flip-flop for me. Like, I can't go back and taste something artificial strawberry because it's not nearly as good as real strawberry.
I mean, I think we're of a generation where the artificial stuff is superior to nature.
I'm with you on a majority of things.
Yeah.
I would say, for me, and this is another hot take, banana. Banana Laffy Taffy, better than actual taste of a banana.
Oh, artificial banana is pretty rank. I don't like that.
See, I like it, because I don't like real banana, but I'll eat artificial banana. I'm kind of that way with watermelon.
But like Lucky Charms are better from the box than from the tree. If you go find them in nature, they're not very good.
I will say, yes, of all
Crunch berries are much better in the cereal than in actual life.
It's very true. Very true. Of all,
I got a crunchberry bush growing in my backyard. It's garbage.
Terrible crunchberries. I will say the clovers in the wild are terrible, but the clovers in Lucky Charms are fantastic. Yeah. I do enjoy that. What are your thoughts on watermelon? Watermelon artificial.
Oh, artificial watermelon is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good.
Regular watermelon's crap.
Yeah.
I got no use for regular watermelon. It's just like it's slightly off tasting water.
Yeah.
I have no use for that. So watermelon and orange artificial flavoring, vastly superior.
Is there anything that's been made better than a watermelon Jolly Rancher?
That's what I'm saying.
That's a really good candy.
That's what I'm saying.
That's for special occasions.
That's that one.
That's like for weddings.
That's the one when you buy the array.
I don't know.
What? Boy, I'm really sad that he's gone. Ooh, watermelon Jelly Rancher.
Have a Jelly Rancher, you'll feel better.
This is a fancy ass funeral right going on. Yeah, they're the ones that when you buy the array of Jolly Ranchers and you put them out in your office. By the way, that's an interesting office candy to put out there. The watermelon ones you keep for yourself.
Yeah.
You don't share those with anybody else.
God, I want a watermelon Jolly Rancher right now. That sounds really good.
You know what else is pretty good? Although it sometimes throws me off. Grape artificial flavoring, depending on what it's in.
Possibly, yeah.
Like grape Jolly Rancher, good.
Very good.
Grape Laffy Taffy,
Right.
Not as great.
And I don't know what all the flavors are in Mike and Ike's, but they're brilliant. All of them.
All of them are fantastic.
Yeah. I don't think they're based on nature.
I don't know if all the I don't know what it is. I'm so gun shy of yellow in Mike and Ike. Yellow Mike and Ike's and yellow Starburst. I just don't know.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of either one of those. Although, for those who...
We'll have to agree to disagree.
Yeah, we will agree to disagree.
That's how you end every argument. We'll have to agree to disagree.
Although
before I start throwing fists, we're just going to have to agree to disagree.
Before fisticuffs there,
right?
I will say Skittles, thank God, has brought back lime.
Oh, yeah?
That crap sour apple threw off the whole balance.
Yeah, that's a bad salad.
Why the hell was apple in with all the rest of the menagerie of Skittles? It threw off the flavoring because I will say this, sour apple taste, crap. Artificial apple, terrible compared to real apple. I don't care.
Sour. I'm going to go back to Jolly Ranchers though. Sour apple Jolly Ranchers are pretty good.
Yeah, but it's still not my favorite.
Yeah.
Exactly. But now that I actually eat real apples instead of Red Delicious, which are shit apples, Fuji apples is where it's at if you want a good eating apple. And we will end this version of the Mike and Molson Too Good for Radio podcast with this Ask Reddit question. What's a song that instantly takes you to a different time in your life? I can go many different ways with this.
The one that comes to mind for me is Spandau Ballet, True.
Okay, I want to hear why.
That is a YMCA 8th grade dance.
Oh, okay.
Nightmare right there. Because you're grooving and people are jumping around like idiots and you're a bunch of sweaty 8th graders, and then everything just stops cold, and it's like ba 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 ba, and I was like, oh no, I got to ask somebody to dance.
And did you? Did you have enough gumption? You didn't have enough gumption to ask someone to dance?
I went outside and cried.
because no one would dance with you.
Well, it wasn't that no one would dance. It was like the act of asking someone to dance
was too scary for you?
Was just overwhelming. It was like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I had the opposite reaction of those situations where you're right. That was always a weird thing to slow down the middle school dance, where it's like just let everyone continue to have fun. Don't make it have to pair up and be weird.
It's the worst.
Yeah, it was the absolute
Torture.
worst. Yeah, not great. I would say, I mean, it all depends. For me, there's some where it takes me back to, like if I listen to Sum 41 or something like that, it takes me back to Summers of Warped Tour and you know, those summer festivals back when I would be going to, like every summer you're like, oh, I want to go to this show and this show and this show. And it's just kind of, once again, the sweaty nature of like, I got to run to this other stage and then that stage and everything else. That takes me back. The other one is...
Lou Bega?
God, no. Yeah, no. That takes me back to a different time. But no, I was going to say I had the time of my life. For two reasons. Yeah. One, it takes me back. That was like, it was one of those movies that my mom and my sister loved. And my dad, in his weird hatred of random celebrities, also couldn't stand Patrick Swayze because I think because my mom found him attractive. Right. So my dad was like, yeah. So there's that reason. But also, that was... And not as many people I've seen as of late do that, but the wedding party dance, right? That was our wedding party dance. Was I had the time of our life, and it just brings me back.
Oh, sure.
It brings me back to that moment where we just kind of pseudo reenacted that scene at the end, you know, of the whole thing, and people actually thought we got done. They came up to us at the reception and like, how long did it take you to choreograph that? We're like, that just happened spontaneously. Like, we didn't choreograph any of it. So that's another song that takes me back. They're just, and it's weird that songs are so associated with certain memories, right? Like, I hear Power of Love, and I am right back in the theater with my mom seeing Back to the Future for the first time. Something you wouldn't understand because you've never seen Back to the Future.
Yeah. Is that a good movie? Have you seen it?
Yeah. They made 3 of them. Just so you know.
Really?
Yeah.
It was the entire trilogy.
Is there any movie or is any song from a soundtrack that takes you back to that, or like a song that you hear and immediately put you back into a movie theater seeing something for the first time? Not so much.
I'm sure there is. I'm just drawing a blank right now.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sorry. I'm still in 8th grade. Looking at Stacey Henderson sitting over there with her collar popped.
Did she go to high school with you? Did you ever talk to Stacey Henderson?
No.
Never?
Oh, I mean today or then?
Then.
Oh, then, yeah.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, she knew I was all about her.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she just play hard to get, or she just had no interest in Johnny Molson?
They was just,
everyone always had that one girl, didn't they?
Yeah.
Of that one girl where you're like, oh my God. And they knew.
Yeah.
And then,
and she knew that, and that was amping it up.
Yeah, right. And then they would play into that because you were the nice guy.
Right.
Right? They always wanted the head football player was or whatever or whatnot be. And it was just like, and you knew you could never have her at all.
Yeah,
but
I mean, she was the one at the end of Breakfast Club leaving with Judd Nelson.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. She went off for the bad boy.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
But you always had that sliver of hope, didn't you?
Yeah.
At one point, there'd be the Stacey dance with you.
I was at a high school reunion, and she was not there. But somebody just inadvertently said, "Oh yeah, you know what? We were at that meetup last night at the bar. Stacey was there."
Oh, you missed it.
And so not only did they tell me that Stacey was there, they said, and she looked hot. I was like,
Oh, just as Bambi Bomb got shot. Exactly. Johnny Molson's heart pierced by the bullet that was the gaze of Stacey Henderson and missed opportunities.
The worst.
It is the worst. Well, thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we appreciate it. Make sure you go to the Patreon page to make sure we get enough money to start the secondary podcast. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll be back at it next week.